This is the plaintiff, Max Chernin. He says he rented an apartment from the defendant, and when Superstorm Sandy hit a few years ago, the place was flooded. The water was so high it even reached the ceilings. The uncaring defendant evicted him, threw out all his belongings, and says the defendant had no right to do that. He's suing for $5,000, the state max, and the money he's owed. This is the defendant, Henry Tanawi. He says he asked the plaintiff to take all his belongings out before the contractors started work on the place after the storm. But the plaintiff abandoned them. The marshal even gave him permission to put his stuff out onto the street. He's sorry, but a natural disaster destroyed his belongings, not him, and he owes him nothing. He's accused of having no heart.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rented an apartment from the defendant and says it got flooded because of Sandy. Now, the plaintiff says the defendant threw all his stuff out, but the defendant says he asked the plaintiff to take his stuff before the storm. It's the case of you hosed me after the storm.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Max Chernin?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Henry Tanawi for $5,000. According to you, you're at $7,000 for throwing out your personal items. Tell me what happened.
On October 30th, 2013, during Superstorm Sandy, my apartment that I rented from the landlord was completely destroyed by the flood, and its contents...
What city were you in?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Its contents was completely destroyed as the water and the sewer discharge reached all the way to the ceiling and remained there for several hours.
Okay.
So basically, this is a negligence case against the landlord.
What did you do wrong?
The loss occurred because the landlord failed to install and maintain a water pump and other equipment in the apartment that would have prevented the damage. That was
How would it have prevented the damage? Were you going to stay? Did you evacuate or didn't you?
I did.
Okay, so
Sure.
who was going to? What kind of water pump should he have in your basement apartment that would have prevented the damage? I mean, that's.
Well, the way I see it, the apartment should be equipped with something that would have.
Every apartment in New York should be equipped with something that pumps out. Every basement apartment, I guess. This is a basement aparment? Is this a legal apartment or no?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that was quick.
This is an illegal apartment.
Right.
However, I learned that it was an illegal apartment while I was already there. So.
Okay.
This only came
Now
up
the
during
storm happens, and you evacuate when? What day did you evacuate?
On the same day.
All right. Did you come back after the storm to assess the damage?
Yes, I did.
What day did you do that?
I would say 2 or 3 days after the storm.
Okay. What did you see? I think you have pictures to show me.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Wow. What a mess.
It really was.
So, did you clean up this mess?
Actually, I was trying to clean up and retrieve something that might have, survived the flood.
What do you mean you were trying? Did you clean up this mess or did you leave it behind?
It was all lost. Total
yes,
loss.
I know it's lost to you. Did you clean it up? The
No, I
answer is no.
didn't.
Okay. Did you have renter's insurance?
No, I don't. So it was pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. So, did you apply for FEMA?
Yes, I did.
And did FEMA reimburse you for your...
No, they didn't.
What did FEMA pay you?
They paid me $1,500 for rental assistance.
Okay, and that was it?
That was it.
All right, so then when do you get in touch with your landlord, to discuss things?
I was in touch with him for the following 3 or 4 months, constantly, while he was fixing up the place.
Okay, and did you have insurance for this?
The insurance pay me a part of my
of it.
expenses.
All right, and did you apply for FEMA?
I applied for FEMA, but they rejected my application because I don't live there.
Okay. All right, so when you talk to him, what do you tell him about his tenancy or him living there?
I told him, we have to fix the apartment. I mean, it's completely damaged.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the area. This is Shipshead Bay near the ocean.
Right.
So I told him, he has to move out.
Okay. And was it your intent that he move out until you fix it and then move back in?
Yeah, I told him no. This is. I mean, you cannot move in back, because this is illegal.
Yeah, but it didn't bother you before.
Because in the meantime, he accused me right and left.
Let's talk about it. So you didn't want him back.
After the damage happened and I fixed the apartment, I told him you cannot come back. But he came in because he had the key. I didn't change the lock, and he came back.
Okay, but when you told him, do not come back, you can't come back.
Yeah.
Why did you tell him that?
Because the apartment is illegal.
Okay, and 3 months earlier, how long did it take you to renovate it? How long?
About 2-3 months. About
2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months earlier, it was illegal, right?
Yes.
And you were still renting it to him. So why did you not want to rent it to him now? Because in between those 3 months, he had accused you of things?
Yes.
What did he accuse you of?
This apartment is illegal, and he was living there, and even an inspector came to the apartment. He said, "Oh, you should not have a kitchen. You should not have a shower."
So the inspectors came.
Yeah,
in the
inspector came.
All right, so now they're on to you.
So now I have to take everything out.
Okay.
Kitchen
So
out.
what's different is that you were on the radar now, and
yes.
you're going to get in trouble. All right, so then what happens? You tell him, you can't come back in here, but you didn't change the locks, and then what happened?
No, I changed the lock, because we got the marshal. Because
No, wait.
Yes.
You don't change the locks, so he moves back in.
Right.
Right. When do you notice that he moved back in?
As soon as the apartment was ready.
And
Because
how do
he
you
was
find out he did that?
Well, because I live next door.
Okay, so you see him. Do you see him moving furniture in?
Yes.
And do you tell him, what are you doing? You can't do that?
I told him you cannot do that.
And what did he say?
I said, no, this is my apartment.
Okay. So then what did you do? You filed the eviction?
Yes, I hired a lawyer, and he filed eviction.
How long did the eviction take?
Oh, about 8 months.
Did you have to pay the lawyer?
Of course, I paid the lawyer.
How much did you have to pay the lawyer?
About $3,000.
Did you move back in without authorization?
No, I did not.
Did he
At
tell
that
you, what are you doing? You can't go in there?
No, he didn't.
So, who takes advantage of who more, landlords or tenants?
I'd say landlords.
Because?
They have more control over it. You're held to a lease. I mean, pretty much they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but tenants can cut and run, can't they?
Yeah,
So who takes advantage of who more?
I think landlords too.
Landlords.
Yeah.
Are you a tenant?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm just guessing. Going inside the courtroom.
The eviction started while he was fixing up the place.
Superstorm Sandy was October 30th.
Right.
All right. So according to you, he had already filed an eviction against you?
Yes, my lease
Do you have
expired.
the paperwork?
Yes, I do.
May I see it?
My lease expired at the end of that year,
Meaning what date?
in December 2013.
Oh, so you didn't even have a lease. How are you moving back in? You didn't have any, what? Listen, when your lease expires and you're still living there, by operation of law, it's a month to month, and somebody has to give you 30 days to make you leave. Your lease expired when you weren't living there, when you couldn't live there, when the place was condemned, essentially, because it has to be repaired. You can't, no one can live there, all right? And then the inspectors are onto him. So now, that's the problem, like you kind of, kill the goose who lays the golden egg when you do that. And the inspectors are onto him, and he's in trouble. He doesn't want you back in, and you have no right to even walk in there and put your stuff back in there. What are you doing? What theory did you have that would allow you to move in? Oh, by the way, when you talk about rent, did you pay any rent from the time
No, I
you moved
didn't.
in to the time the marshals dragged you out by your hair?
Well, they didn't drag me out.
The marshals are the ones who removed your stuff.
Well, I
Oh,
was
you
ordered-
thought I meant dragged really, like
No,
they
Your Honor.
literally dragged you.
Your Honor.
That's a figure of speech because
I understand
most
that.
people get out of there before the marshals have to do their job.
I understand that.
Yeah, okay.
There was nothing,
Did the marshals have to come in and take his stuff?
That's right.
And what day did the marshals come in?
Even he make inventory, of the stuff. Nothing valuable.
Okay, so he left and he just left all that junk for you?
Yeah.
Did you have to clear everything out?
Your
Did you have
Honor,
to pay somebody to clear everything out?
I have to pay for that.
Oh my gosh.
Your Honor, he was playing a double game. He wanted to stay in the apartment, And at the same token, he's fighting that, this is illegal apartment. Okay, it's illegal. So what are you saying? I'm asking you to leave.
Right? It seems simple, doesn't
Leave.
it?
This is illegal.
Okay. So now he's suing. This is kind of interesting. He's suing for $5,000 because he wants you to pay for his leather sofa, his $1,500 plasma TV. I saw that TV. That's not a $1,500 plasma TV. His bed, his convertible couch, his bookcases, and $1,500 in home office supplies. Because, did you order up Superstorm Sandy? Did you call God and say, God, I need a storm to hit Sheepshead Bay right now and not a moment later?
Right.
Okay, so that's a no. So and anything that he could have taken out, I guess he did, really. So everything that's left behind is junk, which he didn't clean up because why does he care? So now you can eat the cleanup cost.
That's right.
Eat the lawyer cost.
That's right.
And he wants you to return also
Yes.
his $1,000 security deposit. Now, why are you not returning his $1,000 security? Did he have a $1,000 security deposit?
Yes.
Okay, and why are you not returning it?
Because he didn't pay rent.
Okay. Now, here's an interesting little side issue for you, okay? When you can't rent an apartment, you can't keep the security deposit for rent.
Well, I mean...
I know, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. So, technically speaking, he should get back that $1,000 because you can't keep it for rent.
What?
Oh, don't get too excited yet. Because, see, I figure that $1,000 is more than offset by all the costs that you had to go through. In fact, I'm kind of stunned that you didn't file a counterclaim against him for your legal fees and everything else, but that's just not how you roll. You're a happy guy.
That's right.
You just want to move on and be left alone. All righty. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
Well, the judge really did not like your case. Step in here. What did you like it?
Yes, I did, actually. I think I have every right to collect what I was looking for.
How are you not just a squatter?
I remained in the apartment while the eviction was pending, and the judge specifically ordered me to enter the apartment and live there while the case was pending.
Mm-hmm. Where are you living now?
I rented a new place.
Mm-hmm. Where's that?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn? Everything's good in the new place? You're paying
Yep.
your rent on time
Absolutely.
every month? You up to date this month?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, here comes Mr. Smiley over here.
Yes.
You like being taken advantage of?
Yeah, well, he was trying to play a double game. He wanted to stay in the apartment, and the same token, he is fighting with me.
That it's illegal.
Illegal.
Right.
That's right. So I don't know what he wanted, really.
Mm-hmm. So
You know?
what's happening with that apartment now?
Well, I mean, of course, I renovated, and I'm using it as a storage area.
Oh, it's a storage now.
Yeah, but no residential.
Not
As a-
residential.
No. I mean,
Are you a landlord still?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Harvey?
I gotta tell you something, Kurt. Landlords are playing with fire when they rent illegal apartments because the tenant doesn't have to pay rent, especially for the unused portion of a lease. You are rolling the dice unless you have a certificate of occupancy.